Veterans Voice is a show that connects veterans and active members of the military to qualified guests who help you find programs and benefits you qualify for and discuss housing, education, career training, and other topical matters. Every show addresses issues that affect your life. Each week, Veterans Voice will begin with a story from one of our veterans about his or her experiences in the military. We want to thank these veterans for sharing these stories with us. Call in and share your experience. 781-837-4900. And now, a voice from one of our veterans.
Tonight's veteran story features Lee Goldberg, a former United States Army officer and Vietnam veteran who previously talked with Charlie Duquette about his transition that led Lee to becoming the founder and president of an organization called Veteran. It's an acronym for Veteran Entrepreneurial Resource Network. Here's what Lee had to say.
So I went to Northeastern University as an undergrad, and I was in the ROTC program. I was an officer in Vietnam during the Tet Offensive in 1968. So that kind of changed my life. And when I came back, I actually kissed the ground when I landed in the States. Wow. But it's also about you have a sense of urgency about things. There are lives at stake. In this particular case, there are jobs and people's careers and families, and I appreciate every day. But when I came back, none of my friends had been to Vietnam, and I didn't have any support network, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I went to the library and I looked up names of companies, and there was no internet. So I looked up names of companies and CEOs of companies, and I sent out letters to a whole bunch of companies, and I get a letter back from John Quincy Adams.
For real?
For real McCoy, John Quincy Adams, direct descendant, who was the senior vice president of John Hancock in the bond department of John Hancock. And he asked me to come in for a meeting, and I did. And he ended up hiring me.
Wow.
And that kind of changed my life, because since that time I've had a pretty successful career. But I never knew why he hired me until a couple of years ago. A friend of mine who was also a veteran, who he hired about a year later and stayed at John Hancock, told me the following story: that when John Quincy Adams was going to college at Harvard, it was during the Second World War. He dropped out of Harvard to go into the military, ended up flying B-26 bombers. His best friend got killed. He came back to pay his respects to his best friend's dad, whose name was Tim Clark, who happened to be chairman of John Hancock. Wow. And Tim Clark said to him, JQ, when you get out of the military and you finish up at Harvard, come see me at John Hancock. There's always a job here for you.
Wow.
And that's what happened. And he ended up being one of the most senior people in John Hancock. And I was the first veteran that he hired. So he was paying it forward, and now I'm paying it forward.
Greg Brasso, your host of Veterans Voice Radio, here on Career Night and Entrepreneur Night. And at this moment, we want to turn it to the entrepreneur section, and I want to introduce a good friend of ours we've been working with for well over a year now, Lee Goldberg, whose voice and story we just heard on the Veterans Voice. Lee, thanks a lot for coming in tonight.
You're welcome. Great to be here, Greg.
Well, we appreciate it. And just a little bit of background on Lee. Why don't you give us a quick little background, because we want to get to the guest that you brought in as well.
So Veteran, which is an acronym for Veteran Entrepreneurial Training and Resource Network, had our first cohort of veterans last year at Northeastern University, and I want to introduce Matt Logan, who's here tonight, who is a graduate of that program, to tell about his story. Our program is all about helping vets grow their businesses. We provide mentors from day one of the program, and we also provide access to our professional resource network. And I think Matt will give you an idea as to what that program is about and what he gained out of it.
Great, Lee, and we'll get back to you and have you expound on it more as the program gets through. But I know, Matt, you have some constraints working, but thanks for coming in tonight, Matt.
Thank you for having me.
And can you tell us a little bit of the history before you joined up with VetRN? Because you had an existing business that Lee helped you with, didn't you?
That's correct. I started my business about 5.5 years ago. I kind of stumbled through trying to figure out how to run a business because, as most people know that own a business, running the business is the hard part. It's, being an electrician for me is
harder than doing
easy.
The work, isn't it, Matt?
Absolutely.
You could do the electrical work in your sleep because you knew it.
Yep, you got that right. So I would go down to the Chamber of Commerce, the Plymouth Area Chamber of Commerce, and try to take all the free classes I could on, running a business. And that's where I met Mike Kelly, and Mike Kelly actually introduced me to Lee. And I started the course, the veteran course, last September to grow my business. We kind of plateaued out, and I needed a little bit more help on figuring out how to run my business.
Not to be a better electrician.
No, I was already there.
You're already there, but it was the business of the business.
Yeah, that's what I needed help with, and I met with Lee, and I can't speak. I can't tell you how.
And what did you go through?
it
What was it? A 6-week program that you went through? That you went into Northeastern every week?
Yeah, well, every other weekend.
Every other
on a
week.
Saturday.
Yeah.
We went up there and we basically put together a business plan, and we went through each step.
And you had some help with that?
Yeah, we had help. Lee also paired us up with mentors that are in business already, and that was the big part for me, being able to bounce some ideas off of somebody that's been through what I was going through at that point.
Sure.
And some of the tools that I learned and some of the ideas that I got from those mentors, I still use. I used this morning, and it was. It helps out big time. So what I learned was I have a checklist I look through every day. One of them is cash flow. Another one of them is how the jobs are doing. So are we going over on hours? So we can catch those things.
The whole project management theory.
Correct.
And Lee helped you outline that and how to develop the theories of how to manage the different projects.
The veteran program absolutely helped out with that.
Great.
And like I said, I used what I learned this morning.
Well,
so it's,
and now you're here. Now to jump on the other side as an employer, are you not looking to hire a new employee right now as well?
Yeah, we could hire a licensed electrician tomorrow. We'd love to hire a veteran. We actually reached out to Mike Kelly a couple of months back looking for an apprentice. We really wanted to hire a veteran, and 2 weeks later we had a 6-year Coast Guard vet working, and he's still with us.
Great.
Plenty of work lined
Doesn't
up.
have to be a master electrician or anything.
No,
right?
journeyman electrician would be fine.
Journeyman is okay.
Yep.
Apprentice, not so much.
Well, we have to maintain a 50-50 ratio
Okay.
between apprentices and licensed electricians.
Okay, I
so
understand.
our next hire would be a licensed electrician.
Okay, great. Well, keep us posted, and we'll certainly pass you out. And thanks for coming in, and thanks for doing your work with Lee. Yeah, Mike.
He's gonna. Matt. You're gonna give your contact information right now.
Yep. So my name is it's Matt Logan with TDL Electrical Contractors out of Plymouth. Our phone number.
Thomas David Lawrence, TDL.
Correct.
Okay.
We're out of Plymouth. Office phone number is 508-746-1545.
Great. Matt, thank you so much.
Thanks for having
doing
me.
Hey,
these.
Matt, do you happen to have a website by any chance?
Yep. TDLelectric.com.
That was Tango Delta Lima.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, all right.
That is Lima.
Thank you.
Transition, Charlie. How long have you been out? 2 weeks?
Hey, speaking about transitions.
No, Maddie, were you
gotta
going to
say
say
goodbye to Maddie.
Yeah, Maddie, thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, I hope we get you a couple of phone calls and keep us posted. Yeah,
We'll work on it.
all right, Matt. Thank you so much for coming in tonight. I appreciate it. That's Matt Logan from TDL Electric in tonight talking about his great experience with Lee Goldberg and the veteran program and his success with running TDL Electric. And John on the line. I know you've been holding for a little while, John. What's going on out there?
Hey, how you doing, Greg?
I'm fine, John. How are you tonight?
Good, good. I got an email from Lee to see if I could jump on the call today, and I was excited to do so.
Great, John. Give us a little bit of your background.
All right, I own Adamscom in Carver, Mass. We do business telephone solutions for small to mid-sized businesses throughout Massachusetts. And am a graduate of the veteran program. Actually, Matt Logan is the individual responsible for me getting there.
Imagine that little network. Thank you, Mikey Kelly. Another fish, another little guppy in the bowl here.
Ask him if he's are you a member of the Plymouth Chamber?
Yes, I am.
I have met you. Yes.
He's
Yes,
the
we
Marine.
have. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, at one of the veteran meetings.
You're a Marine, Semper
I
Fi.
think it was about 6 months ago or so.
Very good. And you
Excellent.
and you actually took part in Lee's course last year.
Yeah, the course was great. The mentors were great. The atmosphere was, it was really beneficial for me. I guess the best kudos that I can give for it, I'm not a very eloquent speaker, but is just to say the success that I've had this year, since this time last year when the program began. We've had a 60% increase in revenue since last year.
Wow.
That's substantial.
And increased by 2 employees.
Wow.
And I've already hit my second-year goals out of the 3-year program we put together.
Wow.
During the training. So I couldn't be more ecstatic about it. It really worked. It really helped me out. I've been in business this is my 11th year, and this is the first time that I've been able to grow like that in 11 years.
Are you looking for more people?
Yes, we will actually be looking to add some more people on probably about the first of the year.
Oh, good.
And do you have my information? You see how fast this goes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And we'll be looking most likely for some telephone technicians
Okay.
at the beginning of the year. Anybody with low voltage wiring experience and particularly PBX experience.
Here's the drill. I'm going to give you my email right now.
All right.
It's mkelley@pqcc.org. And then you just email me the full job description, how to apply,
Put it on.
and I'll pick up your signature block in the email.
Beautiful. Will do, Mike.
Roger that.
Thank you for calling in tonight to support Lee, but WATD, and tonight we're on a kickoff show where we're talking about careers and some employers we heard from CarMax, but we're also addressing a new facet of our show here coming up and future events where we're going to be highlighting and featuring veteran entrepreneurs and talking about the services that are out there with Lee Goldberg and Chris Pratt waiting here with mentoring opportunities and business advice and savvy. And we heard from Matt Logan that was in that learned about some hard business skills, cash management, cash flow, that as a perfect electrician, he knew how to wire a house but wasn't sure how to declare his taxes or how to put the numbers in the right boxes, and how it helped him. And here's John from Adamscom down in Plymouth, Lee. Another success story.
Right.
Oh, 60%.
You know, 60% growth after 10 years in business. That's unheard of. That's great success.
What does Jeff have?
And now we have Jeff out there. Jeff, you've been holding on. Thank you very much.
Hey, great to hear from you, Greg.
Thanks for calling in, Jeff. What brings you to the show tonight?
Oh, well, Lee asked me to jump in, see if I could participate tonight. I was more than happy to do so. I participated in the first cohort along with John and Matt, and can't say enough about the program. It was fantastic.
Well, and did you have a business going into that, Jeff?
I did. My business is LBP Solutions. We are a environmental consulting firm. We inspect properties for hazardous materials such as lead-based paint, asbestos, mold, indoor air quality, things of that nature.
Hey, Jeff, Charlie, and tell me about the growth in your field and what's driving it besides awesome management skills that you learned.
Well, I'll tell you, I was a sole proprietor for 13 years before going into the veteran program that Lee started. I'm a master lead paint inspector and asbestos inspector, and I was I was conducting that solely as a sole proprietor. And since I participated in the program, I now have 5 full-time employees.
Wow, good.
And we've expanded exponentially in the last year, and we're looking to continue expansion moving forward into 2016.
Do you have a percent of growth that you can even guesstimate on right now?
You know, it would be a total guesstimate, but I'll tell you what, we've definitely grown. I can guarantee in revenue and certainly in growth as far as
Business,
jobs, 100%.
Wow, awesome.
And what were some of the skills that you actually learned, Jeff? What are you doing better now that you weren't doing so well before?
Well, I was kind of in the same boat as Matt was. I specialize in what I do, so the craft or the skill that I perform, I was solid in. But all the meat and bones of running an operation, running a business. You work 7 days a week as an individual, and on the weekends you try to catch up on your paperwork and deal with the books and marketing and management and all those things. And I'll tell you, the team at Northeastern, excuse me, Lee and Ted, the instructors, they were fantastic in really honing and fine-tuning a business plan and making you look at things that you really didn't look at before.
I'm so happy, Jeff, that you've gotten such great results from taking advantage of it.
Hey, Jeff, this is Lee. Could you just tackle just a minute about your mentorship in terms of what that was all about and how that worked for you?
Yeah, that was really key. The mentorship was really intriguing. That's it was a phenomenal opportunity to get put in the middle of such experienced folks, successful folks who have already been there and been down that road that we're going. And I got to give a shout out to my mentor specifically, Garrett Quinn over at Trident Environmental. He was phenomenal. He was very helpful, and particularly with his background in finance and banking, he was a real rock star in helping me, kind of navigate through the financial end of things with the business.
The program is all about putting together a business plan and being forced to kind of really focus on what the needs of the business are, not just the the rationale for the business, but also the P&L, the balance sheet, the cash flow, and what it takes to grow the business. And sometimes veterans are a little bit scared because they don't know if they hire somebody, if that's going to affect their cash. And so I think putting it all on paper and forcing them to really focus, coupled with the mentors who have actually been there and done that, I think was really what I try to do. Is I try to match the mentor with the individual. In this particular case, Jeff needed somebody from the industry, and I just happened to have someone who came from the industry who was willing to come. And by the way, I think we should say that these mentors came to the classes. Every class, they came to the class
every week.
Every week they sat with the mentees, and they helped them throughout the program.
Paying it forward. Wow.
Yeah.
Lee, by the way, we didn't even talk about what's the next step.
Right. So we're starting a program January 30th. The program now is going to focus strictly on how to grow a business, and instead of just putting a business plan together, it's going to work with existing businesses, and they're going to put together a 3-year growth plan. So they'll all have mentors. They'll all have
projections and
but more important than that, it's going to be peer to peer. It's only for veterans, and it's going to be peer to peer mentoring as well as having a mentor work with them who comes from the industry or financial background. What I'm doing now is, since it's existing businesses, Charlie. So if they want to apply to the program, they come to a veteran website, www.veteran.org, and they just apply and they just fill out their name and address and the nature of the business and their contact info, and I'll go see them, and I'll meet with them one-on-one.
And how do you spell veteran?
vetrn.org.
Thank you.
That's great, veteran.org. Well, Jeff, congratulations on your great growth, and just keep it up. Keep up with the good work, buddy. It's not ending, but it's a little bit easier when you have some skills, doesn't it? Isn't it?
Yeah, very much so, and it's a lot easier when you know you got people in your corner.
Well, that's it's quite a testimonial, Jeff, and I'm so glad you took the time to call in tonight. Lee, it's stories like this. This phenomenal growth with existing businesses is astronomical.